Hi everyone.
Hi everyone. In the previous video, we went over domain, infrastructure, and presentation layers of the overall app architecture. In this video, Erkan will explain application layer, how we handle state management, package choices we have made, and the reasoning behind those. So Erkan, can you explain the application layer?
Sure. Application layer is where we handle the state management. The responsibility of this layer is to orchestrate all of the other layers. It only depends on the domain layer. In this tutorial series, we are using the block pattern, so our blocks and qubits will reside in this layer. For the package choice, we made our choice in the preference of Flutter block. It separates business logic from UI easily. It is highly scalable and easily testable. And most importantly, it is pretty well documented and highly maintained. The maintainer of the package, Felix Angelov, has a Discord channel where people discuss their problems about the package and the block pattern. I mean, I was there when I was first beginning. People on the community are so helpful. This is especially valuable if you are just starting to block pattern and Flutter block. So I highly recommend this package for you. Specifically, we prefer qubits over blocks. So what are qubits? Qubits are subsets of blocks. They have less complexity and less boilerplate. So this makes it easier to understand compared to blocks. So how do we decide when to choose blocks or qubits? To be honest, if you are if you have just no clue, just use qubits. As long as you don't need to advanced features like debouncing, throttle, switch map, you can always go with qubits. For the last 2 years, I have been using Flutter block and using qubits, and there have been only a few cases where we switch blocks over qubits. So if you have no clue, just go with qubits. It's easier to understand and it comes with less boilerplate. This diagram shows the interaction between the layers. So the presentation layers use functions to interact with qubits. Qubits exist in the application layer. The application layer gets the method call and makes the necessary calls to the domain, the services and repositories in the domain layer. Depending on the response from the domain layer, the state of the qubit is updated, and then these state changes are reflected in the UI. So this is the interaction among the layers. In our state classes, we use freeze package. So why do we prefer freeze classes in our states? Because they are immutable by default. It reduces lots of boilerplate. It generates code for copy with method to generate a copy of your objects. It automatically implements value equality. And since they are immutable by default, they are much less error prone. Also, if you are familiar with union types from other languages, freeze also have support for that, and they support. You can utilize the union types in the freeze for mutually exclusive states. Also, you can use freeze classes for your models and also data transfer objects in the infrastructure layer for serialization and deserialization of the objects. It comes with from JSON on and to JSON methods. So it automatically generates the code for that. So you don't need to manually write all these ugly codes. And also you can use the union types for an alternative for enums. Lastly, we will talk about dependency injection. For dependency injection, we use getit, and for generating getit code, we use injectable package. Injectable package handles registration of the dependencies automatically. Normally, you need to register all the dependencies of getit manually. It helps you reduce the coupling between your classes and their dependencies. I know that it has been all just abstract talk. Let's just jump into the code, and I will show you how to combine these packages together and how the application layer looks like. Here under the application folder, we have location and app lifecycle folders right now. So these are corresponding to features. Location Cubit is a lazy singleton. This means it is created for once and used. Whenever you call this object, you will always get the same object. So when you create an object with getit, you will always reach the same instance. So here we have a Cubit, and we inject the dependencies here. We have a permission service and a location service, but as you see, we don't really call the actual implementation of the service. We are not calling the infrastructure layer, but we are calling the abstractions in the domain layer. The rest is handled by the injectable package. So it automatically figures out what the permission service is, what the location service is. So it reduces the coupling between them. And here we see our location state class. These four variables are the states. As we talked, freeze automatically generates code for value equality. It handles most of the things, and the only thing that you need to implement is here. That's all. You don't need to worry about the rest. That's all for now for the application layer. In the upcoming parts, we are going to talk about more them in depth.
Thank you very much, Erkan. This is the app architecture we have been using for the past 2 years, and it served us very well for even large code bases. In the next video, we will begin coding, finally, starting from the domain layer. So see you soon.
Bye.